You know, when you talk about liberty, as Friedman allegedly said to Walter Williams, talk about it with a smile. I say that because I'm smiling right now. I love being alive right now with this president in this great country at this time. There's no better time to be alive. However, I do see two troubling trends I want to talk about that we have to address. Number one is the evaporation of trust in institutions, and you're seeing it now. You're seeing it like last night, for instance. We're going to address the threats to Erica Kirk at the Turning Point event in, I believe it was Georgia. How the evaporation of trust in institutions, that either we're going to fix or we're going to have anarchy. There's no third option. I need you to understand that. If you believe in the republic and you say, I believe in this republic, then you have to be willing to defend it and fix it and repair these institutions. If we're not committed to repairing these institutions and reestablishing faith in institutions when we get our people in charge, you have nothing but anarchy as a choice. So I see these two troubling trends, first being the evaporation of trust. And the second thing is, pursuant to this evaporation of trust in institutions, nobody feels like they can trust anything. So they feel like they're being lied to constantly. And the natural response to said lies is this pressure valve of violence. And folks, you're seeing it all over the place now. You saw it with the Savannah Hernandez attack in Minnesota. And I'll show you another video right at the beginning of the show about what I mean. And folks, I don't care. Listen to me, please. I don't care who said violence is committed on. There is zero excuse to use violence as a pressure valve in political arguments. There's no excuse. I don't care who it is. Because again, the only option after that, when we stop talking and start beating the shit out of each other, is anarchy. That's it. I don't want that. I have kids. Even if I didn't have kids, it doesn't matter. I don't want that. I'll show you where all this is coming from the beginning of the show. I got a lot to talk about today, so please hang with me here. Yeah, I use my car so much, I'm always in it, getting to work, running errands, going to events, family trips as well. Jasmine does, Justin does. We're all in our cars all the time. When your car goes down, it's not just inconvenient. It throws off everything. I've had that moment where a strange sound turns into a warning light and a huge bill comes later on. Suddenly you're bracing for a major repair bill you didn't plan for. It takes a huge dent out of your finances. No good. That's why I'm a fan of Car Shield. Car Shield's great. Having that extra protection takes a lot of stress out of owning a car. Car Shield offers low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plans so you're not locked in. They partner with ASE-certified mechanics across the country, and they include 24/7 roadside assistance. That's important. Courtesy towing. You don't want to get caught on the side of the road. And rental car options at no additional cost. And the low deductibles really matter when something big goes wrong. CarShield has over 20 years of experience, covers more than 2 million vehicles, holds a 96% customer rating and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Can't beat that. Drive with zero worries thanks to CarShield. It's not worth the anxiety. Get yourself CarShield now. CarShield is offering our listeners 20% off with the code Bongino, Bongino, at carshield.com/Bongino. Don't let an unexpected breakdown ruin your wallet, ruin your day, and ruin your week. Get covered with CarShield and drive with confidence today. Go to carshield.com/Bongino and use code Bongino now for 20% off. Thank you, CarShield. All right, fellas, let's go. We got the great one, Mark Levin, coming up later. So again, loaded show on a Wednesday. Folks, again, be a happy warrior. But be willing to fight the fight when the fight matters. And I know you are. I know you are. I see you there in the chat. I was in there this morning, and welcome to the person I responded to. PV Madrone said it was your first time on Rumble, first time in the chat. Welcome to everyone here for the first time. We love to see you. The live show is always the best way to do it because the chat's one big family. Folks, we got these two problems, the evaporation of trust. The evaporation of trust. Now, let me put meat on the bone rather than just talking in like flowery language. I hate that when people try to sound smart and they'll try to be Emily Dickinson writing poetry. I'm not a poet. The media and the weaponization of government institutions, starting way before Obama, but no question, exacerbated during the 8 years of Obama into the Biden administration, has completely destroyed faith in institutions. What institutions? Put meat on the bone. One I was at, the FBI, totally weaponized under Obama, Biden, and frankly, even under Trump 45, where they attacked him from the inside. Intelligence agencies, the USIG, the Pentagon. I think everybody still retains faith, thankfully, in the soldiers, the airmen, the Navy on the ground, our Marines. But the Pentagon leadership, Mark Milley certainly didn't do himself any favors over there. You've seen evaporation of faith in the education system, in the media. So the problem you have is, obviously, if you have a compass, I use this example a lot, that never points true north, you don't have a reliable compass. And the thing is, you don't even have a valid compass either because they're just making stuff up. I've made this point often that you can have a scale that's reliable but not valid. If you have a scale that's 20 points off, I weigh 200 pounds. If the scale says 220, I know if I gain 20 pounds, the scale's going to say what? 240, because it's always 20 pounds off. It's reliable. It's just not valid. It's not measuring my weight. I'm not 220. I'm 200. But it is reliable. The problem with the dissipation of faith in institutions, the media, military leadership and under prior administrations, federal law enforcement, even some local law enforcement during COVID, where we saw police departments being hijacked into these ridiculous COVID restrictions. Faith in the NIH and CDC and medical institutions totally evaporated under COVID. You see it all now. No one, people like the vaccines, no one even wants such a vaccine anymore. The federal government's like, we're going to go so hard on making people take this vaccine that we're going to suppress free. And what happened? Any kind of allegiance to scientific thought, vaccines went out the window. No one even wants to touch them anymore. You guys weaponizing this against us, the Bongino army and our listeners out there, lost. Whatever you thought you were doing didn't work. Nobody trusts anything out of the media anymore. So that leads to problem two, which is this pressure valve where people feel and they hate the idea that they're constantly being lied to and deceived about everything. So the response amongst the growing number of people, not you, thankfully, please don't take this the wrong way, but you've seen it, has been violence because they feel like they have nowhere else to go. It's not an excuse. It's just an explanation. You see it last night where Erica Kirk tragically had to cancel an event, a Turning Point event. Vice President Vance was there because there was some legitimate threat to her travel. People had doxed her travel. Folks, if you could put up the tweet for me. This is the great Mary Margaret Olahan. It was fantastic. Regarding the threats to Erica Kirk that prevented her from attending the rally, people were doxing her travel location, trying to track her arrival and departure, multiple direct threats against Erica specifically. This led to her security team's assessment that they couldn't guarantee her safety. Noting the event was fine, the Secret Service had it and the VP was there, Vice President Vance, but the travel schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, if there was a definition of pure unadulterated evil and demonic-like behavior, I'm sorry, but this is it. doxing this woman's travel. I mean, at what point, how have we, as evaporation of trust evaporated so much that this is considered acceptable amongst a small cadre of lunatics, that a woman who saw her husband, with children, by the way, who saw her husband brutally murdered on television by an assassin's bullet, is now the target of her own threats by people claiming to be on, quote, like our side? This is not our side. I don't want any part of any freaking club like that. Do you understand? I want nothing to do with it. Count me out. Not interested. No matter what. I'd rather talk to one person on this live stream right now than sit here and say I'm a part of this bullshit. Thankfully, we have 12 minutes in, 42.7 thousand. Filled up a stadium there. Folks, we see this violence everywhere. And this is an uncomfortable conversation to have because you can never see violence and threats to Erica Kirk or anyone else as the pressure valve, because the only logical conclusion to all of that is anarchy. Is it not? If we cannot openly talk to each other and debate these things, and this is not some effort to like virtue signal or we should just talk. That's not me. I'm a realist. I understand sometimes, especially when it comes to nation states versus each other, talk time runs out. It happens all the time. You're seeing it right now in Iran. But when we're on this individual basis debating people with ideas, and your first response is to punch someone in the freaking or kick them in the balls or punch them in the face, that only goes to one spot. Sooner or later, somebody tougher than you is going to come along and beat the shit out of you too. This is not the animal kingdom. I only bring this up because in conjunction with the threats to Erica, I saw this video go viral yesterday. I don't know if you know who Sneeko is. Obviously someone I disagree with vehemently on a number of issues involving geopolitics.